Hey guys, Anthony, 4x4 Diesel. I'd just like to answer a few questions that we've had recently about when to replace injectors and diagnostics and things related around injectors, because you know, obviously your biggest way to help prevent ending up with a cracked piston, which is basically the only real failure of these vehicles. They're really good engineering and the engine's actually very good, but look, when you get a certain amount of power and torque out of an engine, it is difficult, I think, to make the piston strong enough if things aren't working right with the combustion. So biggest ways to help prevent cracked pistons is obviously avoiding chips and tunes. Whenever people contact us and say, you know, they describe the issue, you know, loss of power, smoke out the back, cracked piston, right? The next question I ask them is, you know, do you have a chip or a tune? And at least 80% of the time, probably more like 90%, the answer is yes, unfortunately. Usually combined with old flogged injectors. If not, usually they've got old flogged injectors. So chips are a big cause, but there's enough people without chips that have had the issue also. Usually with old flogged injectors or injectors that they've been in there too long. So the problem you got is with the older vehicles, 05, 6, 7, 8, 9, till they change in September 09 to a different injector, you could hear rattles, you could see a lot more on diagnostics, things show up a lot more. Now, since then, the injectors changed, there's different software, they're a lot quieter, they don't usually make noise, they can, but you're lucky if you've got enough of a problem that makes noise that you haven't, you know, resulted in the cracked piston. So look, basically, these are the reasons why we replace injectors. The first one is obviously you look at diagnostic, it's not that important anymore. It is important, don't get me wrong, you got to look at it, because if there's a problem, you want to replace the injectors. But just because the diagnostic looks okay doesn't mean everything's working okay. So, and they can go bad quickly, that's the other issue. Obviously the old school way of checking, you know, diesel and injectors, diesel smoke, you got to check for smoke. Now obviously your filters and sensors and everything else has to be working right, and it does help if your EGR system's clean and not caked up with, you know, without saying too much, if you know what I mean. Give it a rev, it's clean, that's a good thing. So that's another reason. If it's blowing abnormal smoke, excessive smoke compared to other 1KDs, that's another reason we'd want to replace the injectors. So if they're noisy, if the diagnostic says so, or if it's blowing smoke. Now the other main reason is, from all those averages, what we know, the average is how long injectors last, I've come up with about 7 years. Now you could probably stretch it a little bit more, just depends whether you've got the full DLCs or not, and that's why I've got these in the picture. So they're obviously, well, not so obvious for some, but some are DLC coded, some aren't. What would you prefer, DLC coded or not? I mean, for some models you can't get every part in the injector DLC coded, but there's an example of command piston DLC coded and not, the nozzle needles, and also the solenoid valves. DLC coded works a lot better. It's a lot harder, so it's takes longer to wear, and it's got less friction. So basically, to put it simply, the injector's going to last a lot smoother for a lot longer. So it's a bit of a no-brainer. So anybody that's got an 05, 6, 7, 8, 9 Hilux or Prado, like 120 or same vintage in a Hilux, I don't even want to talk to you, see your diagnostic screen. Even if they're old and they've done 60,000 Ks, they are going to be out of spec. I'm going to find parameters that are out. There's a whole heap of parameters. It's not just about 1, 2, 3, and 4, the individual feedbacks. That's actually, if the injector diagnostic was 20% of the importance of checking injectors, well, the individual feedbacks are kind of, on the older ones at least, 10%, 20% of the picture, also very small, not so important information. And you've got to be careful reading these things when they're cold as well. They will be worse. It's really a specialist area, you know. So anyway, DLC coding's definitely better. On the 150 Prados, for example, that came into manufacturing in around 2010, and it's on and off through 2010. By about 2013, most vehicles would have full DLC injectors. So basically, to put it short, if the 120s, I'm saying, look, you know, if you've got original injectors in a 120, something in, or a Hilux, 05, 6, 7, don't even talk to me about diagnostics and readings and whatever. You need new injectors. I don't really want to have a lot to do with it. It's too risky. I'm not into Captain Risky sort of thing, if you know what I mean. Captain Risky, you know, that's the other company, Captain Risky. So So that's the first part. And also, so the 150 Prados from 09, so 09, 10 and 11s, remember a 2011 or 12 built vehicle will have injectors that were built probably sometime in 2010. So it's unknown whether they're DLC or not. We have to get the injectors and have a look at the... That's why I say please return your injectors. That's how we learn, and we've got our records on what month and year are DLC coded and what aren't. So if you don't return your injectors, you're not helping everybody. I'm just trying to help everybody. Please send back the injectors. There's a number of reasons we'd like them back, but that is another important one besides your free contamination check. Anyway, what I'm trying to get at is if it's an 09, 10 or 11 or probably 2012, it's unlikely they've got DLC. It is likely, even from 2012, 2019 now, when I'm making this video, that's 7 years. So anything before 2011, 12, you need new injectors, okay? Now, hang on, there's that word need. Do you need them? Well, you don't need them. The ones you've got, they could go forever without a problem. It's just a luck thing. It's a bit like your insurance. You could all cancel your insurance. Hey, I haven't had any claims for 20 years, no problem. I've never had a claim, I'm safe. You probably go forever without a claim, but if it happens. So having new fresh injectors and avoiding chips and tunes on these engines is your insurance against a cracked piston from our experience. You know, we've dealt with a lot of people, whether it's phone calls, whether we've sold them injector kits, replaced their injectors, or other guys in the trade we supplied injectors to. Same deal. The experience generally is we don't have problems with fresh injectors and avoiding these high power output engines. And you might think it's not a lot, it's just a mild tune. Well, that didn't work out either, okay? So, look, I could be wrong. That's just all the stats we've got at the moment. We've been working on this a little while to have some statistics. So, there you go. Some injectors have got DLC coded this, that, and the other. There's three main parts that are coded. That's them. They're the three parts you want coded, and you get those on a 150 Prado with brand new fresh injectors. If you choose to purchase off us, obviously you get the backup service included. When everything goes pear-shaped, you can give me a call. Years down the track, when you've got other issues, you can give me a call. You're going to get more support if you've supported me. So if you happen to need a set of injectors and you want the whole kit with the pipes and seals and gaskets, that's how we supply it. There's a lot of optional other add-ons. That's why I say just give me a call for the information about the kit. And you know, it's different. The earlier Hiluxes injectors are a bit cheaper, etc., etc. So some kits are cheaper, you know, injectors are cheaper, you know, whatever. Deer are cheaper, deer or whatever. You've just got to give me a call. It's more of a personalised boutique service you don't get anywhere else. We just want to, you know, work out exactly what you need and what. Depends whether you're doing it yourself, whether you've got someone else doing it. You also get access to the VIP group, which has got a lot of very informative videos. You just have to wait and see when you get there. Or you can give me a call if you're inquiring about the injector kit. You can ask about, you know, what sort of extra information and videos are in the VIP group. So, all right, guys, just a bit of information. I hope that's answered your question. So when it comes to diagnostics, if they're old injectors past about 7 years, you know, look, if it's a 2012 or 13 on 14, you know, we can sort of deal with it a bit, try and get a bit more out of them. We can talk about it. But anything before that, it's just time to replace them. They're either overdue or it's time to replace them. Let's not waste any time on trying to work out what's going to happen. Either way, the seats, you know, the injector seats, they need to be replaced. They don't last forever. You know, the injector seats, that's these suckers here, right? They need to be replaced. They do not last forever. They're usually, look, if you don't know, you need to watch the other videos. We've got hundreds of videos on YouTube, more going up every day. This one's getting a bit long, so I've got to stop dribbling on and end the video. So once again, thanks for watching. If you see the odd ad pop up every now and then, it'd be appreciated if you can watch it. Then I can make some money. The more money I make, the more videos I make. Think of it that way. If you press skip or you don't watch it, then that's the 5 cents I don't get. I don't know how much it is. It probably is 5 cents, but anyway, heaps of information coming your way. If there's any ads, please watch them, and yeah, I'll endeavour to answer your questions. Thanks, guys. See ya.